Jordan Owen, driver of the Craft Automotive Repair Services number 68 Chevrolet Cobalt. I race in Sunset Speedway's Bone Stock Division, and you're watching ONTrack Weekly.
What is going on, everybody? KMK with you here on Labor Day Monday. Hard to say that, hard to believe that we're already at this point of the racing season where we're talking about the racing being done. We've got two tracks that wrapped up their championships this past weekend, Peterborough and Sauble Speedway. We'll get into conversation with Ben Hodgson, the co-announcer at Peterborough. He'll be on the show later to talk about the championships from Peterborough Speedway. We'll chat with him about how the season went. So I want to thank Ben for coming on the show. Thank you to Jordan Owen for that intro. Of course, you've got the 68 featured here on the show. Of course, if you want to submit your intro, just send me a video with your little intro saying who you are, what you race, where you race, your sponsors, and that you're watching ONTrack Weekly, and we'll put you as a featured racer here on the show. Again, we're coming right down to the end of championships. The Dayco Championship this weekend with the APC Late Model Championship as well. It's really sad that we're already at this point of the season. It seems to go by so much quicker than it ever used to. And we've officially got two tracks wrapped up. We've got another track next week that will have their championship weekend. Then we get into playoff racing with Velocity at Sunset Speedway. Sunset's championship next week, the 14th. Peterborough Speedway had their championships this past weekend. Grand Bend will have theirs wrap up this weekend. It's always at the end of the year. We could be really happy or really sad. Obviously, the weather has affected a lot of the events this year, but it is nice to be able to have a good crowd of people to talk with after these big races and to talk about the season. We'll be here all off season long. We'll try to have some more driver interviews with you. As it says here on the screen, Sauble Speedway season has concluded. And so we definitely want to put some of the conversation out there. Pat Farrow wrapping up the championship in the Bone Stocks out at Sauble Speedway. Josh Davenport in a very tight battle with Cole Camrath. He gets the double features and gets the championship as well. Tom Gibbons gets the championship in the Pro Late Model division. In all honesty, though, Tom Gibbons really didn't have a tough fight. He was really the dominant car this year. He had a couple of competitors, but for Tom Gibbons, former APC United Late Model driver on a full-time basis, coming back and running Sauble for the full season in their late model division, and then the battle between Austin Finley and Jason Parker for the championship in the United States. I believe that came down to Finley. I believe it was Austin Finley over Jason Parker, but I could be correct. I could be incorrect. It definitely was a great season, and unfortunately, Sobel does get, like we talked about, they get a bit of a bad rap because they don't have a long season to have. And of course, one of the biggest things that Sobel Speedway needed to do this year was to have a solid year in terms of no curfew problems, and they did that. Congratulations to Brad Holmes, first year as GM at Sobel. Obviously, it's been a bit of a tough year, tough couple of weeks for the group at Sobel with the passing of their co-owner Jeff Cassidy, but they end on a positive with the visiting series. They were able to get the shows in, get everything done, and not have anything cut. Cut early, at least, to curfew. And that's always a good thing, that you're able to do what the fans need, what the track needs, and we know that there's more in store. Brad has definitely put in a lot of great work, and I think that for an outside fan perspective, we can definitely say Sobel Speedway had one heck of a year. Congratulations to them. That bone stock idea for having the epic racewear bone stocks, great idea to bring them in this season, and we're very happy to see Sobel having a solid season. Congratulations, of course, to all their champions in a really, really good thing. It's always difficult when you have to change things and change specifically changing a lot as they did. Sorry, I've got somebody sending me a whole bunch of stuff in the middle of the show here. I'll be honest with you, I was worried coming into this year for Sobel after things kind of went sideways last year, and then making that switch to the bone stocks. You don't know how it's going to go. Mini stocks to switching over to the bone stocks, having no breakout time, but the bone stock division looks like it was the right call. I think that they could have had a couple more cars out each week, but that's everywhere, and it's okay. We definitely want to have more and more coming out to the beach. It's not the easiest place to have races, but they've been able to do really good numbers. I mean, they had the 2-speed nationals there this year, which I would hope they are able to acquire again. I don't know what 2-speed's plans are, if it's going to be a yearly thing at the same track, or if they're always going to vote on which division it's for. Personally, I really think that they should just keep it where it was. Sobel for the legend cars. I like the idea of having something big for them. And I think for a track like Sobel, where they do find it a little bit difficult to get those other division cars like mini stocks and bone stocks for invitationals, they did a great job at Boss of the Beach. Boss of the Beach had a solid count in bone stocks. Junior late models, I think there was almost 20. So it is, and they had guys coming all the way from Peterborough. Brody Coates and Broco Motorsports, they came all the way from Peterborough to come out and race there. And that's what you want to see. But one of the things that we talked about with Chris Allard on the Stickers and Scuffs podcast this week, its upcoming episode that'll release on Wednesday, was the having to work together, tracks having to work and schedule things so that people can go to them. That's what's really important. We don't have fields of 60 cars that we can do that. We can have events scheduled on the same weekend and people will go. There needs to be as much working together as possible. And when you're able to put on the big events like this, it shows. And it wasn't the only big event this weekend. Obviously, Sobel had their finale, which we've touched on. We definitely want to say big congratulations to everybody there, all the competitors, the fans, everybody at the track at Sobel Speedway. It was for a great 2024 season. The Alan Lincoln was held yesterday at Sunset Speedway, and I will give a great. I had a great conversation with Brendan Doherty, and I will say that I think this is something as well that's going to continue to build and continue to grow. It was a little bit lower in terms of the amount of cars that they got this year compared to previous years, but I think that the worst part about it is that it is a memorial race. That's the worst part, because we should never have to have a memorial for somebody as young as Alan was, but the fact that he's got so many supporters, so many people that love him, and put on an event just for him, it shows the impact that he had. And I think that this type of event is something that if we can get more and more people to come to, it's something that I really like the format. I like 3 segments. It's a little bit bigger of a show for the mini stocks. We had a couple of guys come out from all over, really. One from Peterborough. I think we only had Rob Crick make the show. Peyton Lewis came down from Full Throttle to be a part of that. Curtis Burnett made his first start in the mini stocks. Chris Allard switched his car over to be a part of it. And Blaze Shaw gets the overall victory in what was a pretty great turnout for the Shaws on Sunday, with Dale winning the Pro Light model race and with Blaze winning the mini stock race, Jacob Sutcliffe winning the middle segment. Jake has been probably the standout mini stock driver this year in terms of coming kind of to battle for the championship. And as long as things hold true for next week, obviously next weekend there's a bit of a change. You see, there's no racing taking place. There's the Renamato Classic Car Show, which will take place big weekend at Delaware Speedway. And then of course Flamborough. So there's a big opportunity here for people still want to go racing. Head out to Delaware Speedway. Head out to Flamborough. I mean, honestly, guys, get out to Flamborough. Pure stocks are on the card. Pure stocks are there. So the bone stock guys from Sunset, get out to Flamborough. Go out and run there. Go out to Delaware. Be a part of it. Is definitely something that we want to see. You have an enduro taking place at Flamborough Speedway, the Pro Challenge and the mini stocks and the pure stocks. So get out there, mini stock drivers as well from Sunset. Get yourself some more racing time as we get prepped for playoff time, for Velocity, for Frost Fest, and of course the Autumn Colors. We spoke with Chris before during taping of his episode, and Chris actually said, go out there. And this is the message that we've had as well, and that's what I want to make sure that a lot of people have. Get out there and support your local racetracks, even the ones that you are not a part of each and every week. This is so important. I think what happens is that the season ends and people decide to just shut it down. Get out there and run even if it's just one more night. But go and run a night at a track that you've never been at. You don't want to interfere, obviously, you don't want to interfere in anybody's championship night. That's absolutely true. But get out there and be a part of it. I definitely think that Chris's point needs to be put to everybody. You need to be out there. You need to be supporting each and every week if you can. And listen, if Chris Allard with his 2 destroyed legs can go out and want to be at every racetrack and race no matter what, you should as well. A perfect example, as we talked about, Rob Crick came down. He finished his championship short. He didn't win the championship at Peterborough, but didn't matter. He still came out and he raced. My understanding is there was a huge crowd. Ashley had let me know that there was a bunch of Peterborough regulars that were there on the Sunday at the track. It That's what you want to see. And I know Frostoberfest, they're really pushing this year. We want to get more people out to Flamborough. Sunset, I don't think is going to have that issue in terms of getting people out to the track, but let's get out there and support. As Ashley says, 10 Peterborough regs made the trek. I know McMurder was out there, and so was Chris Tubman was there. Ashley McMartin was there. Obviously, Rob Crick was racing. So that's what you want to see. You got junior late models as well that they'll have opportunities at Sunset Speedway, I believe, in the coming weeks. Obviously, with championship weekends, if you can get in there and not affect the championship, Josh Davenport really has that kind of knocked down, and is on his way to. Whether he stays in junior late models next year, I don't know. He had a pretty dominant season, and potentially, as long as he's able to win the championship at Sunset, he will have won 2 championships this year at 2 different tracks, which I know of people that have done winning 2 championships in different divisions. Corey McAllister with Superstocks and OSS, but in terms of the 2 different tracks, obviously Corey's was a touring division and a home track division. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens next year. A lot of these young kids that we know, Cole Camrath is officially done. They posted he is done in junior late model racing. Keegan Moat is done in junior late model racing. I believe Chase Cousineau is done in junior late model racing. As these kids start to age out, they need to go somewhere to race. So will they follow the Will Quarries, will they follow the Cole Burrows, go to Super Stocks? Ryder Whites go to Mini Stocks. Jake Spencer Walt, Mini Stocks. Now he's going to Legends. So there's a lot of movements. There's a lot of great young racers potentially moving in different directions for next year. And what we need to make sure of is that there are young racers coming in that will replace them. And Peterborough is one of those places that has put on a great show week in and week out. They've been able to really showcase those young racers. And by having this show, I want to be able to talk with some of the people that are there week in and week out. Even though I see it from a distance, I'm not always there. So we brought along and we could talk with Ben Hodgson, who is he's a young announcer. I think he's only 16, 17 years old, who's been co-announcing with Charlie Toner at Peterborough for the last couple of seasons. And when I tell you, this he's phenomenal. He's got so much skill for as young as he is. It's really what I wish I was doing at 16, 17. You're getting an opportunity now at like 32, 33, but he's got a definite future in this business, and not just as an announcer, but really doing a whole bunch of different things. So he's somebody that we're going to work with quite a bit on our podcast going forward, hopefully. And but we're going to bring him in and we'll chat about Peterborough Speedway, because he's definitely going to have some opinions on how things went, who the champions were this year and the divisions. And yes, Ben will be announcing at Fall Colors. I'm going to try and also try to get out there and announce with him, because that's one of the things I've been wanting to do. So we'll try and see if we can get in there and work together, because he's a good kid. He'll be there for, I believe, all 3 days at Autumn Colors. See if he'll get out there. He's doing a lot of great work as well with the Oshawa Generals. So he's a busy young lad, I'll say, but very, very good for our sport. And so let's bring him in and let's chat with him. So here on ONTrack Weekly, we're privileged to have I want to say the second voice, co-voice at Peterborough Speedway. Ben Hodgson is here to talk about the track that, you know what, they're one of two, what we mentioned earlier on the show. Sauble Speedway also finished. They're not officially done racing this year. You still have the big Autumn Colors Classic, but in terms of the championships, those are all wrapped up. Ben, how was the season out at Peterborough?
Oh, absolutely incredible. What a year it was for this season. We've had underdogs win races, we've had suspected drivers do as well as we thought, and we had wrecks during the season that put our veteran drivers in a hole they've never been in before. And it was an up and down season for a lot. Ryan Kimball, even in his championship interview, said, "Man, the start of the year sucked." And it was a lot of emotions for him, but he ended with a championship going into his 25th year in the ACC. But a lot of drivers finding some difficult moments this season, but a lot of them rebounded for some championships last week.
Division wise this year, we got a couple of new champions. Let's go through them right now. Uh, Probably my favorite picture that you sent me was Wyatt Beatty winning the Junior Late Model Championship on the hook in Victory Lane. He gets the Junior Late Model Championship. Haven't really seen that before, but I guess coming away with the championship for himself. Now he's not officially in the pros next year, as far as I know, right? Like this is still he's still in the Junior Late Models. Who did we get that won the Junior Late Model Pro Championship?
So the Pro Championship was given to Austin Finnegan, who ended up winning the feature race on Championship Clash, but was disqualified during tech for a weight distribution. Still got the win. The win did end up going to Braden City, who just fell short 2 points out of the championship. But our Pro Junior Late Model Series has just exploded at Peterborough Speedway this season. We came into the year, two series pretty even with the Junior Late Models and the Pros, and the Juniors, they got faster and faster every race. And we got down to a point where we only had the ability to run one heat for the Juniors because everyone was getting so fast. You look at Lakeland Junkin. She started this season and actually until half, pretty much at the back of the pack. She was running in the top three during the championship clash and competing for the win. So I see in the next couple of weeks heading into the next season, we might not have a Junior Late Model Series anymore. It might just be pros.
That's one of the things that I actually, my dad, when we went to Peterborough this year, my dad was saying, holy moly, like those guys are flying. And it's different at Sunset. Sunset, they don't run. You can clearly not see the speed. Like you can see it at Peterborough Speedway. The pro division, all season long has been, yes, Finnegan's been out there. The Cousineau's been out there. Landon Sellers, who, man, if there's a kid that you felt was going to get a win once, it was him. He just didn't get there, but you've added Graceland McInnes. She got a junior win. Avery Kirkpatrick, she moved up as well. Brody Coates, he moved up. It's countless names that have gone up this division. I like that you guys are doing that. You've got the opportunity as well. You guys had Bandoleros run for some exhibition races this year. How did that go?
Oh, it went really well. We even had Peyton up in the booth go down into one. And not going to lie, I think I was a little jealous. I think
you could get in there.
There's an opportunity I might be behind the wheel next season for one race. But yeah, that series is we'll have them next year. So it's going to be fantastic to see them run. Obviously, it's a lot of the Pro Junior Late Models that were kind of advertising the Bandoleros. And they were running fantastic. Even Ava Bowney in the 08, she has her own car, and that was running really well. There's a lot of competition between those two. Even Lila Sigma was saying that she loved the Bandoleros because now they go faster. She's like, I don't want to run my Junior Late now. I want to just run the Bandos and go as fast as I can. But that series is going to be really fun to watch.
The trucks are always a highlight at Peterborough Speedway, and they were once again this year. A little bit of a different field this year, a little bit of a movement with racers from last year, but come away with a new champion as well.
Yeah, the truck series was in a very interesting spot this season as we had some wrecks early on, some pretty major wrecks actually, and took out a couple of drivers for the better half of the season. Chad Strawn finding motor issues multiple times during the year. I think it was 5 he ended with. Just a heartbreak season for him. Still found victory lane. That just shows kind of the character and driver he is for getting his trucks on the track. Jack Dallin, Adam Chatton, a rookie. He was very good in the 07, but the real storyline for this year was between Mark Gordon and Howie Crow, teammates. They were a couple points separated heading in championship night, and it was Howie Crow taking it home over Mark Gordon.
I love the trucks. I think that they're so much fun. I've got a soft spot for Stacy Switzer's truck because I'm sorry, branded trucks like that are so much more fun. I love seeing a Tonka truck out there. Previously we had the Superman truck out there, the Pikachu truck. That's
Yeah.
what's it's a great way to showcase kind of some creativity as well. But there's been amazing racing out in that division. Super stocks. Again, I think it was another division that we kind of saw a little bit of change, but a pretty well dominated season by father and son duo. Marley Owen was in contention as well, but at the end of the day, I think we can say that the Gordons put on a show this year.
Oh, they had a fantastic season, and Kyle Gordon too, especially. He was running in the trucks last year, won the truck championship. Then he moved in the super stock. He wanted that extra challenge and to be able to battle against his father for that top spot, and he was able to do it as Mark Gordon won that feature during championship class, but didn't have enough points to pass his son. But showing Kyle, he's unbelievable driver. He's a young and up and coming driver. Three-time track champion now, which is incredible considering his age. And it just shows his versatility. He can win in the trucks. He can win in a super stock. It almost makes you wonder what's next for him. What is it? A pro? Is it heading into the late model series to challenge Dan McCaddy or Kimball for a championship? I mean, the sky's the limit for this kid. But even Mark Gordon said it's all about developing him as a driver, and I can't wait to see what he has for the next couple seasons.
You know, a near and dear division to my heart is the mini stock division, and again, we've talked about it time and time again. There is always a little bit of change year to year, but the one consistency was Chris Tubman, and Tubman had it. You know what? He did get competition this year. There's no doubt about it. But we did see obviously big change with Nolan Gould not back this year, and names that maybe we expected to be hanging around for the full season weren't. But Tubman comes away with the championship in what was another great season for the mini stocks.
Yeah, before we talk about the championship, just want to shout out Carol Dawson for an
Yes.
incredible racing career. Someone who's always in the pits and happy just to be at the racetrack. She'll still be there. I believe she sold her car. I think it's to Nolan Gould as well. So we'll see
I
him
think
back at
so.
Peterborough. So it's amazing for them. It'll be great to see Carol still at the track. But heading into that championship and just the series as a whole, one big storyline for me was Mark Downer, a rookie coming into this season. Never heard of the kid until the start of the year. And man, he put on a performance. He was challenging for that top spot in the championship. I believe he finished fourth overall, just under John Laval in the mini stocks. But obviously the big story, Chris Tubman finally getting that championship he deserved. He won a lot of races this season. It was close though. Rob Crick was definitely chasing him down. He had some car issues during the night, which helped Chris Tubman, but so happy for him and that racing team to finally bring it home.
The Bone Stocks out at Peterborough Speedway probably have been the class to watch this year. There's been a lot of fun happening in there, and while the guy who we could have put in a championship potentially didn't get the win by one single point, he did end up with a fiance out of it. So a pretty awesome night for everybody involved. Let's talk about the Bone Stock division.
Man, the Bone Stocks have been a treat this season. Tegan Stanley, unreal year. Just couldn't get the championship secured. We had a lot of wrecks earlier in the year with the Bone Stocks, which is kind of what you expect.
Yeah.
But we had a lot of drivers bounce back to keep those numbers high. During championship class, had 17 cars, which is not bad considering everything that went on during the year. Obviously, heading into it, Sean Kennedy was leading the points battle by 1 point over Angelo Novus. The heats didn't go quite as planned for Sean Kennedy early on, which gave the lead to Angelo Novus. 2 points separated the two heading into the feature race. Got the chance to interview both of them before their race, and I think Sean Kennedy was shaking, but for the wrong reason when we were interviewing him. We thought he was just nervous for the championship. Obviously, with a ring in his back pocket, it's probably what was more on his mind. The race was pretty smooth. Sean Kennedy trying to make his way through traffic as Angelo Novus had to dodge a wreck on the first turn. Cars spun around in front of him. No caution flew, so he already had a lot of ground to catch. Sean Kennedy was in a heck of a battle with McIntyre almost the entire race. McIntyre then gave the inside lane to Novus to allow the two to kind of battle it out. Kennedy was able to keep Novus behind him, but it was a 1-point win for Angelo Novus to bring home his first ever championship. That's when Kennedy went down on one knee to propose. So we kind of set up in the booth. He didn't really lose the night because he's coming out with a fiance.
Yeah, not bad at all. Not bad at all. Big congratulations to Sean and his fiance on their big day at the track. And Angelo Novus, when I first went to Peterborough Speedway, Brandon Feeney told me all about Angelo Novus and about what the type of guy he is, and to see him get that championship and to share it with his son too is phenomenal. Prolates. I would say that probably one of the best divisions in the province is the Peterborough late models, and once again we got a guy who finally got a victory in Kelly Balson and a championship, but once again battle that came right down to the end.
Yeah, I believe we have, with Dan McCaddy and Kimball, I think we have two of the best late models in Ontario and potentially Canada. They are incredibly fast, and we saw McCaddy prove his car with the ACC, or with the what was that series that came to Peterborough?
Oh, the APC series.
APC, that's it.
Yeah.
He just mopped the floor with every single one of them. It wasn't even close. Dan McCaddy shown that it wasn't just him competing against Peterborough Speedway talent, it was the Ontario talent, and how good that 71 machine really was. He missed a couple weekends this season, which kind of put him out of contention for that championship, but him and Kimball still had their battles that we usually see night in and night out. Actually, they got into each other a couple weekends ago. Kimball went around during our double feature night, so that was a little bit different than what we usually see, but Kimball comes out with another championship. It's back-to-back for him. He was disappointed with his overall night. He was pretty vocal about that. Said he was going to kind of tear down his car and get ready for ACC because he needs to get faster than McCaddy. And even though he won a championship, it shows where his team kind of is. And he said, we're not really going to celebrate it. We got to make our car better, and ACC is the one to go get.
I mean, every time I've been there, Kimball has been the guy and just hasn't gotten the win. So it'll be remarkable to be back for the ACC Autumn Colors Classic. What is it, and why do we need to go to it?
Man, it's the Daytona 500. It's the Super Bowl. It's Game 7 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's ACC. You never want to miss this weekend. It's been a big part of my life since I was a little kid. Just the
You're still
energy.
a little kid, but
still a little kid, but just the energy. It's the best time of the year for me, and especially having with the social media that I've kind of created this season, having you guys there, it's going to be such a special year, and especially with all of our classes and how good they've been during the 2024 year. We just finished a podcast with Chris Allard, just being able to announce his name and having his battle in the Bone Stocks. It's going to be a fantastic year. Car counts have been a little bit lower than usual for the ACC, but I believe with everything that we've done for promoting the track and with Film Kelly doing those incredible videos, I believe ACC is going to explode this season. I can't wait for it.
You've definitely got to thank a lot of people. We've got to thank a lot of people out of Peterborough, obviously JP, Peyton, Dave, the entire team that puts it, all the partners for Peterborough. But also we want to thank guys like you had mentioned, Film Kelly, Stronco. It's without those guys, and yourself included, because you've started obviously with the social media game with the Instagram, TikTok. That does big things for motorsports, and I think we were a little bit late. I think Ontario Racing was very late to the game to get on social media, and now we're getting there, and I think the racers are going to reap the benefits. But I'm gonna pose a little question to you, Ben. Obviously you saw a lot of racing out at Peterborough Speedway, so a couple of names that really impressed you this year, and who you think potentially could be someone that we have to watch in 2025.
For 2025, there's a lot of names that I've said previously that need to be watched. Mark Downer, Tegan Stanley. A huge one for me, for the junior lates, that is Lakeland Junkin. I mean, her improvement has been some of the most improvement I've ever seen out of a driver. Such a young age and showing amazing speed early on. I'm really excited to see what she can do. Victoria McLennan in the Bone Stocks. She came into this season with no wins at all and not a great points finish in her rookie season. She won, I think it was 3 heats. Just unbelievable year, challenging for the top 5 spot in the points. I think she has the potential to win not just 1, but maybe even 2 feature wins in the 2025 year.
I would love that. I love it. We are big supporters of Ladies of the Oval on the Sticker Scuffs podcast, and obviously here on GeForce TV, we'd love seeing all sorts of really good racing stories. Not sure yet if it's going to be on GeForce TV, ACC. So get your butt to Peterborough Speedway. How can people follow along with you on Instagram there, Ben?
Yeah, on Instagram, it's Ben Hodgson _8 because I couldn't put Ben Hodgson. Someone already took it. But we just post a bunch of kind of skits up in the booth just to kind of show what the announcer sees during a night and kind of the energy that me and Charlie are bringing to the table to kind of build these storylines heading into the biggest events of the year. Strongco as well on YouTube, Strongco77. He's been a big partner with me, being able to use his videos for my videos. It's just that partnership has been really incredible, and building that platform for Peterborough Speedway, especially, it's such a historic track that more and more people need to know about. Having G-Force with Racing America as well has given us eyes that a lot of people have never even heard of, the Bull Ring. So having them now know about us and wanting to get out there and just enjoy the kind of history that's at the track, I can't wait to see who comes and competes.
It's been a great season at Peterborough Speedway. Obviously, we're sad that it's done for now, but we'll be back out for the ACC. Ben Hodgson, thank you so much for joining me on ONTrack Weekly.
Thank you for having me.
One of the things that I think is pretty easy to tell why I'm such a big fan of Ben. He, for as young as he is, man, that kid can talk and express emotion really, really well. It's not the easiest thing to do. As somebody that hosts two podcasts myself, with no background in any sort of commentary or anything of the sort, he has got some fantastic skills. And I think that I think the world of him, honestly. I think he's got exactly what we want in motorsports. We need people with a lot of energy and excitement, and just for being as young as he is, he's definitely somebody who I think people need to be paying attention to, because I think he's got much more in his sights than just an announcer. He's talked a lot with him and today, and he's got a lot of great ideas, I think, that can benefit motorsports, especially on the content side. And we're going to try and work with him a little bit in the off season, have him do a couple of episodes with our podcast. And just because I honestly think he's extremely talented for as young as he is. And you know what? I think having some young blood in the announcing game is not a bad thing. I mean, we are blessed with some of the best announcing out there, with Brendan Doherty, Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey, Greg Cowlin, Kevin Rasman, Jim Irvine, Kevin Small, Charlie Toner, of course, being the voice of Peterborough for so long, Chris Soares, Jamie Maudsley. We've been very lucky, and you want to be able to get young kids in to motorsports. This is the time to get people in, not just as racers though. We want to get people in on the promoting side, on the announcing side. He's got a very big future, and Chris, I agree with you wholeheartedly. He could be a pro announcer at the top level. To be at that level at 16, I told him ahead of time, we don't write notes. We don't do pre-made questions. We do this all off the top of our head. Just like this show, no notes, nothing. You got to think on your feet, because that's how some of the best stuff comes. The best moments in motorsports Yeah, sure, you can do a couple of promos and have a couple of ads and stuff written out, but I think I think we'll be doing some good stuff hopefully in the future. And Terry says, hope to see you at ACC. Of course, Terry, that is ACC is the place. My hope is to actually do all three. And it won't be for all 3 days, I don't believe. As you guys might or might not know, I don't drive, so, and I don't really stay over places either. So it's not that I don't want to be there, but it's a lot for my old man. So to be traveling back and forth for himself, but the hope is to get out there to be doing some announcing as well. I was invited back for ACC to do some announcing, so which is great. I love the announcing part, but I really, really like getting to talk with the racers and interview, especially the guys and gals that I don't get to see. One of the things that I was hoping to do that I didn't get enough time, unfortunately, was to get the junior late model racers out of Peterborough. These young kids, deserve it, really. They to I just think back to how nervous of a kid I was, and to be able to have to be on a racetrack is one thing, but to have to talk to people, and to talk to people you don't know, for as young as Savannah as well, like I can't imagine having to do that, frankly, at that age, and they deserve the attention. I said it before, and I'll say it again. We are fans first. Graydon and I, Graydon's gotten to experience being a race car driver a lot this year, and gotten some amazing opportunities. He just started in an Ontario Sportsman Series race for the first time, and so for him, that's his thing. He's always wanted to be a racer. I've always wanted to be an announcer. It goes back to me playing with my 164 diecasts on the kitchen table, pretending I was Alan Bestwick, pretending I was Ron St. Clair, making up my own rosters, writing out statistics. That's literally been my dream, and now I get to do it here on GeForce TV, working with OSS, doing their statistics as well. And getting to learn the Ontario racing scene has been one of the biggest joys of my life. There's so many good people, and like Ben, I really feel that we need to prepare the future. And if I can help in any way get him more experience, even though he doesn't really need, in my opinion, he really doesn't need much seasoning. He's perfect, but just to get him more exposure and get him more time doing stuff. I mean, he's got that enthusiasm that both Graydon and I feel that we have as well, and we want people to have. You want to be that excited for racing. You want to have people ready to go. We want to go to Motorama in 2025, have our booth there again, and see each one of you guys come out, do an interview with that. Like, if we can get up to the 30s and 40s, I'll be happy. It's one of those situations where there's never enough time at the racetrack, and that's the hardest part, is that if I wanted to, I would literally have a permanent spot in every track, travel as much as I possibly could. It's just not a reality right now. So, but the hope is that eventually in 2025, Sauble, Full Throttle, I'll try and get there as well. But I got into Flamborough and Peterborough, trying to keep the three. So Sunset, Peterborough, Flamborough is kind of my hub. Graydon's got Sauble and Varney as his hub. Delaware is kind of a little bit farther for both of us. And that's kind of the hard part about that, in Grand Bend, is that they're not as doable. And Laird is out of the question as well. But this is what we want to do with this show as well. Keep it going all off season. Bring people, especially racers from Ontario, onto this show during the off season. Now that racing will be done, that's the big thing that we need to keep going here. I talked with Ben, and I think everybody knows once the season wraps up, a lot of people tend to go into hibernation mode, and we don't hear anything until the next year. Well, Jayski made himself a fortune and got a career out of having silly season rumors and talking about who's going where. Now we don't really have as much people switching teams and stuff, but it is one of those things that I think benefits everybody is getting to talk about people's plans for next year. They got new partners coming on the car, where they're going. Get you back to Peterborough for ACC of trailers, buddy. I understand, Chris. I'm not a stay over person. I prefer to be at home, to sleep specifically, just because it's part of my anxiety. I'm still not comfortable being away from home, so for at least sleeping. Even with the little time we got, I was glad to meet. Thank you, buddy. We've got stuff on the plans though for ACC Velocity, and like I said, I really want to get out to Frostfest. It's so busy during the summer, and I feel like we didn't get a ton of racing in, even though we did. To be fair though, Chris, I'm in Scarborough, so it's pretty messy to get here, and it's not as close to you as Peterborough is. So it is the hope though is that if I can get out there at least one day with my dad to ACC and then one day with somebody else, we'll definitely do that. I love, and again, it is not a shot at any other track. I promise you, this is not a shot at any other track. Peterborough is home. Peterborough is the track that once the NASCAR Canada Series, we went to Mosport for the first time to see a cast car, and then it was Peterborough. And Mosport shut down their oval track, and so that is obviously not that's not there anymore. But the first ever Ontario Sports. So this is where Peterborough and myself have a bit of a connection. That's the first place that I saw an Ontario Sportsman Series race, and that's where my love for the Ontario Sportsman Series came from. So a little tidbit there for Kevin Trevelyan, but it was the very first time I ever saw the Ontario Sportsman Series was at Peterborough Speedway. Luckily, it's the first time I saw Thunder cars. I still remember the 3 of Harvey Burley, and I believe that was his name. It was Harvey Burley. He drove the Dale Earnhardt looking Wrangler number 3 Thunder car, and I remember he got wrecked, and I was devastated. There was also the number 57. Nala's going to come and say hello. There was the number 57 of Vince Bullrice, and I only remember that name now is because JP was able to tell me who the name was. But he won in like a 3-wide outside pass, and that was, geez, we're going, it's 2024. That would have been back in 2005. And you don't forget that stuff. The first time I ever saw Legend cars was at Peterborough Speedway with Andy Warbutton in the 24 Legend car. It was the first time I ever saw TQ Sprints. And I remember getting the brochure when we were there. And I remember seeing all the classes that were running for Autumn Colors. And our family always celebrated Thanksgiving together, so we never went until I think my first time ever going was 2022. And we went in 23 it would have been 2021. We went in 2022. We went last year, but last year the weather was not cooperative. We stuck around for a good bit of time, but it just didn't happen that weekend. We couldn't go back the following weekend. So Frostfest is on there. Velocity is on there because I haven't been there for that either. But so there's a connection there. Well, Sunset's become my home track and has been a great place, and that's what the racing community does. It's a phenomenal place. And funny, again, for those that are in Peterborough, the funny stories continue because one of the mini stock racers that participates that I had no idea, I haven't talked to since I was in high school back in 2009. One of the mini stock racers I was friends with, I mean, consider him friend. He was, we didn't hang out at all, but he was somebody who was always nice to me. He races in the mini stock division out of Peterborough. No idea this whole time that he was racing, and you find it's a small world, right? Couple people, some parents of some racers, they're friends with people I knew in high school, and one of my classmates from elementary school and high school ended up chatting with him and over this racing, and he partnered on the SKLD cars this year. So it's fantastic. It's a fantastic sport. There's nothing not to love about it, really. Sure, there's sometimes some politics and there's some hurt feelings and stuff that people don't really like, but you get that in every sport, no matter what. And we're going to be building this off season to build even stronger for 2025. The racing programs out at Peterborough Speedway Sunset look really good. Hopefully we'll continue to see good numbers and continually build these divisions to where they can be. And we're going to be doing the podcast, and this show is all off season long. I anticipate taking probably Christmas. Like that obviously would be a time that we'll stop that. But this is, Clinton Jeffrey has been such a huge support for myself. As people know, mentally it's been a very tough summer for myself. It's been a very, very tough couple of months. I have job uncertainty heading into the new year, and so that there's been a lot weighing. And the one escape that I have is motorsports, and I think for all of us, we get a little bit worrisome when we know that it's not going to be in our lives. So let's continue to be strong and round out the 2024 season strongly. Let's get out there, like I said, support Flamborough Speedway for those that aren't able to race this weekend because your track's done for the year. Get out there and give them a shot. Mini stocks, pure stocks, they're available. There's an enduro as well at Flamborough this weekend, and Delaware Speedway as well. They've got V8 stocks. They got bone stocks running, super stocks. Go out there, have some fun. Make sure you guys subscribe. We are so close to getting to 20,000 subscribers on GeForce TV. Make sure you tune in tomorrow as well. Adam Ross, Clinton Jeffrey for Race Rivals Race Chat. One of the things as well, we're going to try and build more for GeForce TV this offseason. But one of the things you can also do, thumbs up, sharing, thumbs up, subscribing, all that type of stuff. It might seem small, but it goes a long way into helping the algorithm for our shows here on GeForce TV to build into a stronger program. We don't know yet, like I mentioned at the beginning of the program, we don't know yet if GeForce is going to be a part of ACC this year. If not, of course, you can always check out Stronco 77, Pedal Power. They always have amazing videos to keep your racing fix all season long. I'm going to wrap it up a little bit early tonight. I think we had a really, really good show. Lots of great stuff. And I've got a cat that is begging for food, even though he still has some. So thank you all very, very much. Congratulations on a great racing season for Sawville Speedway, Peterborough Speedway. Let's get you guys back next year, have some more fun. But for now, thanks to Ben Hodgson. Thanks to our good friend Jordan Owen, who was our featured racer tonight. Again, submit your intro. We can use it on the show. We'll get your racer as a featured racer, and we'll talk a little bit about them here on OnTrack Weekly on G-Force TV. Have yourselves a great night, everybody, and a great week. We will catch you all